This is the question asked in today's skillrack daily challenge. So we are given a program in C language and our task is to write a program in Python which performs the same logic. So here first let us understand what we are doing in this C program. So first some integer variables named n, current num and then long integer variables like val and sum are being created. And then we are accepting the integer n as input, and then a character array named num_char of size 15 is being created. So after this we are creating a loop that iterates for n number of times, and in every iteration we are accepting an integer and we are storing it into the variable named current num. So now we are going to use this sprintf function. The sprintf function is used to convert the integer or any data type into a character array. So in the sprintf function, the first argument we are giving num_char. So that is the destination. So whatever we are going to give, it will convert it into a character array and it will be stored into the character array named num_char. And then within the double quotes, we are giving 2%d. So two integers will be concatenated and it will be converted into a single character array and it will be stored into num_char. So now we have given 2%d. So there should be two source. So in the next argument we should give both the source. So in the place of first source we are giving another sprintf function. So the sprintf function will return the number of characters it has converted. For example, if you are going to give 10, then the integer 10 has two digits 1 and 0. So the value returned by the sprintf function will be 2. Similarly, if you are going to convert the integer 100 into a character array, then the sprintf function will return 3 because there are 3 characters 1 0 0. So the sprintf returns the number of digits. So that is the first source, and the second source is the integer current num itself. So what happens is, if the input received is 100, then what will be stored into num_char is 3100 because the number of digits in 100 is 3. So the first sprintf function will return 3 and then the integer itself is 100. So 3100. So that is the value that will be stored into num_char if the input is 100. Similarly, if the input is 10, then the value stored in num_char will be 210 because 10 has two digits 1 and 0. So 2 and then the input itself 210. So that will be the value stored in num_char. So next we are using the scanf function. So the scanf function is used to convert character array into a integer or any of the data type. So in this scanf function, first we are giving num_char. So we are going to convert the characters present into the num_char into a unsigned long integer. So that is why within the double quotes we are giving %LLU, and then it should be stored into the variable named val. So we are giving ampersand val. So what happens is, the value present in num_char will be converted into a unsigned long integer and it will be stored into the variable named val. And in the next iteration we are adding the value with sum. So this is what we are doing in every iteration, and finally after the execution of this loop we are printing the sum. So what we are doing is, first we are accepting the integer n as input and we are having a sum variable as 0, and we will be accepting n integers, and after accepting each and every integer we will be modifying the integer. So the modified integer will be in such a way that the number of digits in the accepted integer concatenated with the integer itself. So that will be the new modified integer, and we will be adding this modified integer with the sum. So after adding the modified integer of n values, finally we will be printing the sum. So that is what we are doing here. Now our task is to write a Python program which performs this logic. So now let us see how we will be writing a code in Python. So first I am accepting the integer n as input, and then we are given a list of integers as input. So next I am accepting the list of integers and I am storing it into a variable named li. So this is the syntax for accepting the list of integers as input. And then I am creating a variable named sum and I am initially setting it to 0. And now I am creating a loop that iterates through this list of integers. So while iterating through the list of integer, we will modify every integer as how we did in the C program, and we will add the modified integer with the sum variable, and finally after the execution of the loop we will print the sum. So the modified integer is nothing but the number of digits in the integer concatenated with the integer itself. So to calculate the number of digits, we can use the length function, but for using the length function it should be of string. So that is why first I am converting the integer present at the index ctr into a str, and then I am applying the length function. So now we have the number of digits in the integer, but we cannot concatenate a integer and string. So again I am converting this integer into a string. So now we have the number of digits in a string format, and the integer also we should convert it into a string format. So I am applying the str function for both, and now the modified integer will be present in numstr, but it is not in a integer format, it is present in a string format. So next we have to add the integer value of this numstr with the sum variable. So using the int function we can convert this string into an integer, and we can add it with the sum variable. So finally after the execution of this loop we have to print the value of sum, which will be the required output. So this is how we can write the Python code to perform the same logic in the given C program. So this is the logic for today's daily challenge. Thank you for watching.